First of all, will you get a COVID booster when it's been 6 months since you were ill?
I don't know yet. I don't know. You know, I believe, by the way, I was responsible for getting that done in 9 months with the whole thing with the vaccine. So, you know, but I don't know about the booster. I know that Pfizer.
I'm going to get it. I think the science is great. I'm going to get it. Okay, I think you should get it.
Yeah. I would have nothing against getting it. I'd like to look at it a little bit more. But first of all, we have September to make the decision, you know, et cetera, et cetera. We have a little while. I do think that Pfizer, I will say this, the FDA is bureaucratically run, would have taken 5 years to get it approved, would have never even had it if it weren't for me. And I learned things. The FDA is virtually controlled by Pfizer. Pfizer has control, not Johnson & Johnson, not Moderna, but Pfizer has control over the FDA.
Because Operation Warp Speed is one of the positives from the administration, and you've brought up the need for vaccines. You've actually told people to get vaccines. I'm just curious. I got the Pfizer vaccine. Which vaccine did you get? Have you shared that with us yet?
Well, I got the Pfizer, and I would have been very happy with any of them. I thought a very bad statement was when they did a pause on Johnson & Johnson. I think that frightened people. That was a bad thing to do. At that time, when they did the pause, they had 6 people that may have had some difficulty out of millions that received it, but I think the pause was a very bad thing to do.
Mr. President, you've talked a lot about the good state of your health, and I'm curious, would you get the booster shot?
Well, if I felt it was necessary, I guess I have sort of a double vaccine because, as you know, I had it, recovered from it pretty well. I don't think I had it like the press, like the media said. You know, they were making it difficult. Not pleasant, but I had it. I recovered. I, in addition to that, got the shot. I mean, I'm somebody that tells people I'd like to see them get it. I also want them to have their freedoms, etc. But I got the double shot. And if I felt that it was necessary, and let's see where this whole thing is going, I mean, I was surprised. I thought it would have been gone long before now. You know, you don't hear Biden being criticized for the fact that this thing is lingering on in some cases, you know, numbers that are very, very large.
It is, Mr. President, it is lingering on. But when I mentioned you had said to your supporters, get a vaccine, some of them booed. And the current data shows us that it's the unvaccinated that are contributing to why it's lingering. What do you say to those people?
Well, you know, it's interesting. When I was president, everybody wanted to get the vaccine. Everybody. There was a rush to get it. You didn't hear anything about mandates. You didn't hear anything about, oh, gee, people don't want to take it. After I left, people don't want to take it. And it's very interesting. And I think it's because they don't trust Biden. They don't trust the administration. As you know...
you don't think it's misinformation about the vaccines?
Vice President Harris made some very nasty comments, and I think maybe people took that seriously, what she said. But, you know, I think they hurt the vaccine. Now they're trying to get everybody to take it. But I will say, and I think you'll agree, when I was president, there was a rush to get it. Everybody wanted to get it. It was only after that you started to hear this.
On coronavirus, you've had coronavirus. You've also had the vaccines. Do you anticipate getting the booster if that becomes available and recommended?
I don't think so. I mean, I don't think so. I really feel I'm in pretty good shape with respect to that, but let's see what happens. If I feel it's good, if I feel it's necessary, I would get it. I'm very proud of what we did on the vaccines. I did the vaccines in a short period of time, less than 9 months, and people were saying it was going to take 5 years and probably never going to happen. And I pushed the FDA at a level that they have never been pushed. And they probably don't like me much, but I don't care. Bureaucrats, it took them so long to get anything done. I got it done in less than 9 months, and I saved millions and millions of people around the world.
At the time, you seemed to get sick very fast, and then you seemed to get well very fast. On your worst day, did you have moments where you thought, I might not come out of this?
Well, I didn't want to allow that to happen because I felt I had an obligation to this country to come out okay. I think it would have not been great. You know, I'm a cheerleader for our country. I love our country. And I don't want that to be happening to anybody, but I don't want it to be happening to its #1 representative and to its president. I don't want that to be happening. I always felt pretty good. I didn't feel, I know I've read stories that, oh, I was just about over. It was just, Not so. I was pretty good. I didn't feel like I do now. I didn't feel like perfect, but I felt there was something wrong. And very early on, I took therapeutics, and I got better very quickly. And I think I showed things to the country, but not only the vaccines, the therapeutics that we have are incredible. And for some reason, the Biden administration is not talking about therapeutics. They're not talking about Regeneron and other things that we have and that we've developed under the Trump administration.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know.
Greatest achievements was getting the vaccine done in 9 months instead of 5.5 to 12 years. But the problem is, we saved tens of millions of lives all over the world, but I can't talk about it because our beautiful base, of which some of you are there, you get angry when we mention the word vaccine. Don't get angry. We did it in 9 months, less than 9 months, right? Less than 9 months. And frankly, a lot of people are living today because of that. So I'll talk about it. I think the other side actually poisoned people on it because they want to try and take credit. Remember when Biden said, he didn't come up with a vaccine, except he got a shot 2 months before he said that. They said, sir, you've already been given even his own side stopped him on that one. But we did a great job on that, and it's very important, and I'm very proud of it. Think of it, 9 months, we pushed the FDA. They hate me so much. They hate me. They cannot hate anybody as much as they hate me. But we had to get them to move, and we did. And worldwide, millions and millions, in this country, millions and millions of... Then we did a hell of a job, never got credit for that. More people died under Biden, you saw that. And the job we did with COVID, or as some people call it, to be more accurate, the China virus. But we did so much in terms of therapeutics, and a word that I'm not allowed to mention, but I'm still proud of that word. Because we did that in 9 months, and it was supposed to take 5 years to 12 years. Nobody else could have done it, but I'm not mentioning it in front of my people. But someday we're going to have to all sit down and have a little talk. But you know what?
So will you demand that the vaccine companies, that the pharmaceutical companies release their vaccine data to the public so that we can see what they're actually seeing about the side effects of this vaccine?
Well, they should do that. We're all in this together, and they should be doing that. And frankly, anything new, and I hadn't heard what he said yet, but anything new's got to be looked at very carefully. But they should be doing that. If they have facts, the facts are public. They should be made public immediately. People should understand that, and they should know what research is showing and what fact finding is. This is now after the case.
Will you tell these companies that they must be honest about what has happened with this vaccine? And do you believe that we should be starting a new vaccine at this point?
They have to be honest with the numbers, the facts, and they have an obligation to be honest. And if they are going to hold back, that means they're holding back something that's not good. So it's good for them to be honest, and people are going to understand it too.
That's exactly what we
They have to be honest and they have to, any information, they have to release it.
And that is not what we're hearing from this current administration. And Mr. President, I'm telling you, there are people out there that are desperate to have you stand for them in that case.
Well, we'll stand for them in many ways.
And I was able to do something that nobody else could have done, getting it done very, very rapidly. But I never was for mandates. I thought the mandates were terrible. And there's a big portion of the country that thinks that was a great thing. You understand that. Not a lot of the people in this room, but there is a big
COVID vaccine work? It's such an interesting question, because not only that, I also did the Regenerons of the world, we did a tremendous job on that. But we had a vaccine. Now you have different COVIDs. You had COVID-19, and then you have different COVIDs. But we had original was COVID-19, which was the roughest one. I got them done in 9 months, and it was supposed to take anywhere from 5 to 12 years. I broke their ass, okay? I said, I really don't want to talk about it because as a Republican, it's not a great thing to talk about because for some reason, it's just not.
For some reason?
Yeah, for some reason, because people love the vaccines and people hate the vaccines, but conservatives aren't. And I understand both sides of it, by the way. I understand both sides very well. What I didn't do is the mandates. The mandates and the vaccines don't go. And you have lunatics are trying very hard to bring back COVID lockdowns and mandates with all of their sudden fear-mongering about the new variants that are coming. Gee whiz, you know what else is coming? An election. They want to restart the COVID hysteria so they can justify more lockdowns, more censorship, more illegal drop boxes, more mail-in ballots, and trillions of dollars in payoffs to their political allies heading into the 2024 election. Does that sound familiar? These are bad people. These are sick people we're dealing with. But to every COVID tyrant who wants to take away our freedom, hear these words: we will not comply. So don't even think about it. We will not shut down our schools. We will not accept your lockdowns. We will not abide by your mask mandates. And we will not tolerate your vaccine mandates. They rigged the 2020 election, and now they're trying to do the same thing all over again by rigging the most important election in the history of our country, the 2024 election, even if it means trying to bring back COVID. But they will fail because we will not let it happen. When I'm back in the White House, I will use every available authority to cut federal funding to any school, college, airline, or public transportation system that imposes a mask mandate or a vaccine mandate. Thank you very much.